Welcome, everyone. I'd like to first recognize some officials and dignitaries present today. Our great Mayor, Bob Buckhorn. The Chairman of the County Commission, Sandy Merman. Councilman Guido Maniscalco. Councilman Mike Suarez. Councilman Harry Cohen. The Honorable Bob Enriquez, Hillsborough County Property Appraiser. Judge Ronnie Figueroa, Chief Judge, 13th Judicial Circuit. Mr. Mike Merrill, Hillsborough County Administrator. Chief Tom Ford, Tampa Fire Rescue. Fire Marshal Milton Jenkins, City of Tampa Fire Marshal. Major Chad Chronister, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Tom St. John, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. And Director J.D. Calloway. These men are responsible for the motorcade to get this infamous plane from the artist shop to here at our building. I want to thank you very much for that. Colonel Joel W. Gardner, 6th Mission Support Group, United States Air Force. The staff from Representative Janet Cruz's office. The staff from the Honorable Craig Latimer, Supervisor for Elections Office. And Mr. Brian Burns, publisher of the Tampa Tribune. Why do we do this? We have had an enormous number of transactions, particularly our busiest branch, which is West County, where we moved from. In 2015 of this year, the tax collectors took over driver's license from the state. And as you know, we are a great partner, thanks to the leadership of Director Terry Rhodes. It's never been better since I've been tax collector since 1998. Why is this important from a fiscal standpoint? Mrs. Rhodes was generous enough to transfer a state land lease to us for 60 years for $1 a year, which saved the taxpayers $1.7 million in land acquisition cost. In addition to that, we're able to collapse a lease from a third party of $400,000 a year, perpetual with escalators every year. The new location, of course, is a state-of-the-art facility with 32 customer service windows, facilitating transactions that include property tax, driver's license, motor vehicle, dealers, hunting and fishing, business tax, and birth certificates. The office is expected to handle nearly 1,000 customers per day. I've always been a big proponent of partnerships between government, and this defines that today. This partnership involves the state, county, and the city. And this county collector's built this on state land, built with room for a state agency to house local administrative offices. In other words, we're probably the first and only tax collector to joint venture with a state in one building to share our common goals. HCC is decorating the office with artifacts paying homage to the Drew Field Army Air Base, which was previously in the area. Many of these items are on a permanent loan from the Special Collections Department at the University of South Florida. This is one of the only locations in the county where you'll have direct access to this fascinating part of Tampa history. In the early 1920, a private airstrip was built by John H. Drew and Hugh McFarland. The city of Tampa eventually purchased the airstrip and turned it into Drew Field Municipal Airport in 1928. With America's increasing role in World War II, the U.S. government leased Drew Field as a sub-post to MacDill Army Airfield, and the base eventually became a separate base. Drew Field Army Base would eventually play host to a number of fighter, bomber, and train squadrons, eventually encompassing 15 square miles and housing 25,000 military and civilian personnel. While much of this history might be long forgotten to the masses, we're working hard to pay homage to this part of Tampa's history and resurrect it, especially since McDowell Air Force Base is celebrating its 75th anniversary. HCTC is excited to be part of the Drew Park neighborhood and look forward to getting to know our neighbors. I would now like to introduce, the great mayor of our city, Mayor Bob Buckhorn. Please come to the podium.
Good morning. First of all, let me say congratulations to my longtime friend Doug Belden and to his entire staff. I'm the mayor, but I don't have a choir with me, and I think I need to start working on that. Deacon Ford, you get to lead the choir. Milton, I've heard you sing. There's not a chance you're going to in that choir. But as long as I've known Doug Belden, he has always been focused on providing service. From his emphasis on winning that Sterling Award to recreating his agency, he has, for his entire career, been driven by customer service and living up to the motto that just because we are government agencies, that doesn't mean we can't run like a business. That doesn't mean we can't focus on the bottom line. That doesn't mean that we don't balance our budgets and understand that revenues and expenditures matter. Doug Belden has absolutely done that, and this is another example of thinking outside the box, of being creative in terms of building relationships with our partners at the state, as well as a number of other of us. City had a very, very small role in this. But to watch this relationship grow and to know that the taxpayers' dollars are being invested wisely in performance-driven metrics, in recognizing that customer service really does matter and that we have an obligation to be as efficient as Amazon and Target and some of the other private sector companies that we deal with, that there is no difference between the level of expertise and the enthusiasm of our public employees as there is from our private sector partners. We can do it just as well as they can. And this agency has proven that over time. And so to all of you that are here today to celebrate this investment in an area of the city that is very near and dear to our heart, we have spent a lot of money on infrastructure and stormwater and sewer and wastewater in this Drew Park area because we believe that there is opportunity here in Drew Park. Drew Park doesn't have to be known for what it used to be known for. Drew Park can be known as a place that you can invest, that you can grow a business, that you can succeed, that you can partner with public agencies, and at the end of the day, just like we have transformed neighborhoods all over the city, we can transform Drew Park as well. This is a good day. It's a good day for Doug. It's a good day for our partners at the state level. It is always a good day when we succeed and we work together and prove always that when government works, it works as well as anything, and the investment in your public sector employees is a worthwhile investment. Congratulations to all of you. Thanks.
I would now like to introduce to you my very, very close friend and the chairman of our county commission, Ms. Sandy Merman.
Thank you, Doug, and congratulations today. And after hearing them sing, you have a job open anywhere in the county. What I love is people coming into that county center. Can you imagine? Woo! Every morning. It'd be great. See, look, what spirit they have. You guys are great. And I think that just embodies what Doug Belden has done in our city, our county. He has brought so much life and spirit. There isn't a day he doesn't call me and he says, how can we do this better? And that's what Doug does. He makes everything better for us. Our county, our laws, our ordinances, whatever it is, even at the state level, he is there for us, thinking, doing every single minute. And who else could take a boring government building and turn it into something special? Those airplanes, those artifacts inside, unbelievable. I had to get the guy's card. He has done an incredible job building that airplane. Congratulations, sir. That was really, I mean, it was beautiful. And so I just want to say on behalf of all the county commissioners, everyone at the Hillsborough County and our staff, we just want to congratulate you, because whatever corner of the county you're in, and Drew Park is no exception, we are doing something special in every single corner. We are transforming this county into the absolute best place to be, not just in Florida, but in the whole United States. And I'm just so excited for you, Doug, and look forward to seeing many more partnerships as we move forward. So thank you all very much. Congratulations.
I'd now like to bring to the podium Colonel Joel W. Gartner. Colonel Joel Gartner is the commander, 6th Mission Support Group, MacDill Air Force Base. He commands more than 2,200 people assigned to 6 squadrons and supports U.S. Special Operations Command, U.S. Central Command, and 36 other mission partners. He is the focal point for the plans, programs, and services necessary to maintain 658 facilities and support a base population of 13,000 military and civilians and over 250,000 retirees. Colonel Gartner is a recipient of numerous awards and decorations, including the Bronze Star, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, and Joint Service Condemnations Medal. And Colonel, as you know, it's very important to me and our organization to really be able to say to the vets that were here, we greatly appreciate their service. Please come to the podium, Colonel. Thank you.
Good morning. Mayor Buckhorn, Commissioner Merman, Mr. Belden, honored guests, everyone joining us today. Thank you for allowing me a couple minutes during this important ceremony. To the staff, congratulations. What an amazing facility that you're going to be able to serve our citizens, our residents, our families. Congratulations. What a great location. I'm honored that you've asked me to represent the men and women of MacDill Air Force Base this morning. The history of MacDill Field and Drew Field is woven with mutual support and complementary capability throughout the history of both installations. Experience has shown that each base has carried the workload when the other wasn't capable. Many of the planes that arrived in Tampa at the beginning of World War II were unable to land at MacDill Field, as the runways had not yet been completed. Fortunately, Drew Field had the capacity to support the growing demands of a nation equipping for war. As a matter of fact, this morning I was able to receive from the Tampa Tribune, 17th August, 1940, an article talking about the concrete being poured at MacDill Field. During that time, Drew managed to train the bombers and the navigators while MacDill was still being installed. And this was a Saturday morning in 1940, and now we're here 75 years later to celebrate the opening of this facility and carry on the heritage of Drew Field and now Drew Park. Now MacDill, with that great support of the entire Hillsborough community, proudly carries the mantle of total force military presence for all of the men and the women that sacrificed so much at Drew Field. Throughout history, the American military has fought for the foundational principles of democracy, equality, and freedom. Our freedom has been purchased with a price. Here in Hillsborough, our military stands on the shoulders of these giants. From the early years of the 20th century to Korea, Vietnam, the Cold War, and the ongoing war in Southwest Asia, with many conflicts in between. Democracy and freedom are not defined or defended in one conflict or season. They are preserved over time by warriors who love their country more than themselves. Mindful of that spirit and sacrifice, I ask you to take just a moment today during this ceremony to remember the more than 84,000 brave service members missing or unaccounted for still today. Please keep our missing heroes and their families in your thoughts and prayers. I'm humbled, but not at all surprised by the gathering here today, as well as the time and the effort it took to make this wonderful office reflect our heroes from a bygone era. Tampa Bay is a military community that thrives on the ingenuity and the diversity of this amazing city. Among Hillsborough County and the 6 surrounding communities, there are over 421,000 veterans in the area that will look upon this facility with pride and appreciation for years to come. These veterans are represented by the men and women of today's military, proudly serving America now as the nation's next greatest generation. Almost 80% of today's servicemen and women joined while the nation was at war on two fronts in Iraq and Afghanistan. They chose to use the events of 9/11/2001 as a rallying cry to remind the world that the United States, like its amazing airmen of the United States Air Force, will not falter and will not fail. No city, no county, or region embodies that spirit more than the Tampa Bay community. Today's Air Force fleet is the smallest, it's the oldest, it's the busiest it's ever been. We now have the fewest airmen and aircraft since our creation in 1947, with the average age of aircraft being 27 years old. It is more important now, more than ever, that we look to our neighbors to provide the support and care that our military members and their families deserve. This ceremony, this facility, this office is yet another shining example of the care and commitment this community exudes. While we take time to honor MacDill's 75th birthday in the next year, it's important that we do not forget the sacrifices and accomplishments of our predecessors at Drew Field. This building, the employees working in this facility, will be a constant reminder of their heroic actions, their willingness to serve, and their loyalty to our nation. As I speak for all the men and women of MacDill Air Force Base, please allow me again to say thank you for honoring our military and our civilian futures by dedicating this facility to remembering our collective past. Congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel. I'd now like to make some special recognitions. To start with, our good partner, we're an agent for, Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicle. They're in the front row here. The Director of Highway Safety, Ms. Terry Rhodes. Mr. Kevin Bailey, Ms. Diana Vaughn, Mr. Ed Burles, Mr. Carl Ford, and Ms. Deb Roby, and the staff that was involved in this very, very important project. I'd like to thank the City of Tampa staff, Head of Construction Services, Mr. John Berrios, and his team. The Hillsborough County staff, which did an amazing job. Our county attorney, assistant county attorney, Ms. Susan Fernandez, Ms. Christine Beck, Ms. Rosemary Perfect. They're involved in all kinds of litigation, multiple documents need to be signed with the state, easements, MOUs, etc. The county real estate, particularly Kathy Watson and Jose Sanchez. I'd like to thank the project manager of this entire building, and that's Mr. Preston Trigg and his entire team. Mr. Trigg built our last building very similar to this, our Brandon building. He has always come in on time and usually below budget. Thank you, Mr. Trigg. Most importantly, our West County and Drew Park staff for all their hard work. Ms. Nancy Milan and Carla Hills, without them, we would not have this kind of ribbon cutting and so successful. Thank both of you. My executive assistant, Mr. Brendan Shermonti, who did the photographs, the artifacts you see on display, worked with Dominic, and worked with our historian. Special thanks, I'd like you to stand, to Dominic Martinez from Rustic Steel Creations. He is the artist of the plane and engines. He made no money. In fact, hopefully he broke even because he is so passionate about this. He worked from blueprints all the way up. And we thank you, Dominic, very, very much for your passion. I'd like to also have Dennis Cole stand, please. Back there in the back. He is an unbelievable historian who I asked to get involved in this along with my staff. And he donated in kind, no cost to us, our organization, the artifacts and most importantly, the knowledge of this site. We thank you very much for your time and effort. I'd like to thank the general contractor, the Perry Companies, Mr. John Hermes and Mike Haubeck, and all the subcontractors who are involved in this project. I'd like to thank the architect, Edge Architects, Carl Young, and Mary Curie. Thank you much. I'd also like to thank my very close personal friend, our civil engineer, Mr. Dave Bartelt, President of Florida Engineering and Environmental Services. And I will tell you, as a tax collector since '98, the most important asset in the private or public sector is your people. They don't care about your position, they care about your disposition. I am very blessed to have the dedicated men and women who have worked very hard, not only for me, but for our entire organization. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all very much, and I'll call Nancy back up for the ribbon cutting.
Okay, so let's get this going. We are going to have our state folks and all of your staff, please join us as we officially cut the ribbon